thinking. I like it better.
Okay.
I think it sounds better.
All right. We can definitely do that then. All right. Well, welcome, guys. This is the Backdoor Cut. I'm your co-host, Colton, and I got my boy Harrio on here with us today.
What's up, people?
We got a good amount of topics we're going to discuss today. So everybody get buckled up, prepared for some wonderful topics that we're going to discuss today.
Yep, it's gonna be a good episode. Just warning ahead of time. Ever since we got back in town, my allergies have been going crazy. So if I'm ever like coughing a little bit, excuse me, but I should be good.
Gotta respect a man and his coffin, man. I already know how it is living in the valley. It's
Yeah,
coughing's really, really, really bad, man.
it's rough.
So Harrio, what type of topics are we going to talk about today? Like, what we got for us?
So I think we're gonna start off with the Bad Batch. So we just recently had episode 12, the Juggernaut, and I think we just hop right into that.
Okay, perfect. So I think we could probably give the audience a update with the Bad Batch. So if anybody knows what Bad Batch is, it's a Star Wars animated television series based on Clone Batch or Clone Team 99. It's already been, 3 seasons. This is the 3rd season that's currently out right now. And kind of get you up to speed with things. Right now it's an interesting TV series right now. I'll say right now it's currently one of my favorite TV series that's currently out, especially with Star Wars. So it's a really good show right now. What's your thoughts behind it, Harrio?
Yeah, I think I think Filoni and the crew definitely knocked it out of the park with this season. Honestly, I love the show, but coming into this season, I kind of came in with slightly lower expectations, just because I will say, just from animated shows in the past, there has been a track record of like slow starts or like filler episodes and stuff. But it's literally been great since the first episode of this season, and I've been loving every minute so far. I really have built like a true connection to all the characters, and they really have done a great job with character development and just helping us, the audience, understand them on like a personal level. And I think that's just been really great for the series so far.
No, you're right. You're definitely right, man. And I personally really do love Bad Batch as well. I mean, these first episodes, as you said, started out from season 1 to now we're down to season 3, the last season for Bad Batch. I extremely love this TV series. Dave Filoni, who's arguably one of the greatest Star Wars producers because he did Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which I personally say is probably one of the best animated TV shows of all time.
Absolutely.
With the characters and stuff, I mean, we have Wrecker, we have Omega, Hunter, we have Echo, Fee. We have a lot of characters, and Crosshair, of course. The character development from seeing them just be a basic, almost a clone commando unit that is tasked to be on a lot of very difficult missions, as I would say, instead of the regs. And especially with this character development with Crosshair, I personally say he the way he started out, being with the Empire, just being so close-minded, not helping out the boys. I mean, and not even trusting Omega. I mean, it's this character development, especially with him, has tremendously been able to make this TV series wonderful. Now, Harry, if you can, let's kind of walk through what happened with the last episode.
All right, so basically, kind of as you would expect, everybody's chilling, right? And then, of course, something bad's got to happen. So yeah, we've got Sophie's back. Gosh, when was the last time we saw her? That was like,
I know, maybe
was that like, I don't know if that was like super early in the season or if it was even in this season.
right.
I think it
It's
might have been like early in the season that we saw her.
right, right,
But anyway, every time she shows up, there's always there's always either a mission or like she's bringing trouble with her or she's going to get them in trouble.
right, right,
So basically, so Omega, she's been taken by
right,
Hemlock, right?
right. And here,
And that one, I'm trying to figure out who that guy is. The
I have speculations.
Yeah,
I know I have so many speculations of who that commando, that Empire Commando, Stormtrooper Commando is. I have a couple of speculations, but it's pretty difficult to figure out who it is, I would say.
I mean, I want to. I don't know. I've heard people say he's tech, but
I've
like,
heard that too.
I'm like, I feel like his send off was. I feel like we should just maybe leave it be and just let his death be what it was. But at the same time, he was definitely one of my favorite clones. And I would like to see him again, but it's also like, he sacrificed himself for the greater good, and I definitely respect that. And I do think that maybe that should have been his farewell. I don't know.
I think I'm with you on that though. I mean, it's I do have speculations it could be tech. I mean, some of the mannerisms, it
For
just
sure.
the way he talks, it sounds just like tech, but it's the way Omega found his glasses at the end. I mean, I don't know. I think I really think it could be tech. I really think it could be.
Yeah.
And seeing him being sneaky, especially since in the, I'm gonna say, Fee definitely had like a connection with Tech too. Always called him Brown Eyes, especially.
Yeah.
And seeing Omega get taken back to Tantus with Dr. Hemlock, and we might need to touch base on Emery. I mean, what's how
Yeah.
she started. I mean, she used to be Dr. Hemlock's right hand man, doing everything he asked her to, no matter what was the consequences. And turns out she's a clone too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I don't think any of us saw that happening at all. But
So
seeing,
yeah.
oh yeah, and like seeing just the way she interacted with the kids, you could definitely see that it definitely touched her differently. And I don't know how this, I really don't know how this season's gonna end. I have so many speculations of who's gonna die. I mean, what this season is going to add up to and like kind of set up for the technically the future films. I mean, there's, man, I don't know. I don't know. I got a lot of speculations, a lot of things to discuss.
So do you think that there will be projects with either members of the Bad Batch or Omega down the road?
That's a very good question. I think there is going to be some projects. I think the Star Wars community has really expressed how much they love how well all these different types of projects has happened. I mean, they have made, I believe, I'm hoping they'll make Tales of the Bad Batch, almost similar to how Tales of the Jedi is on Disney Plus. And I actually just overheard a couple days ago they are now making Tales of the Empire. That's going to come out later on this year. So I
Yep.
think with these projects coming out, they're truly starting to see the little things behind Star Wars that are not only the movies, but like what happens during the movies or in between the movies that is never really discussed. Like it's those little things that fans want to see, those little things that fans want to talk about, what details what happened. I mean, a lot of people don't even know who the Bad Batch is because they've only seen all the movies. Well, a lot of people are just only going to see the only the movies, never really watch the TV shows, especially the animated ones now. A lot of adults aren't really a fan of like the animated television series and stuff, which is unfortunate for them because you learn a lot.
Hey, Star Wars Rebels. Period.
Man, mm,
I mean, come on.
you can't go
I will say
mad.
when it came to Star Wars Rebels, when it first came out, I will say I thought, okay, this looks a little kiddie. But then
I
once
did
I
too.
finally gave it a chance,
Mm-hmm.
I was obsessed. And I feel
Me,
like that's the issue a lot of people are having. They look at it and they're like, this is a little kid show.
right, right,
You have to watch it. That's basically you have to watch it and then you'll understand, basically.
right. And it's just I feel like if you're a true like if you really are wanting to understand Star Wars, you have to go outside of the movie. I mean, it's like referencing like there's with like DC or Marvel or like there's always comic books or like other things that actually truly happened. I mean, first thing when you hear for Attack of the Clones, you're like, okay, the clones attacked. How were the battles? Like what?
Right.
There's always got to be more things, and there's always amazing favorited characters, especially like Captain Rex, Ahsoka. I mean, these characters are phenomenal characters that nobody knows about, but they're so coveted by kids and adults and in the Star Wars community that you're like, how can I watch Captain Rex? Why is he so great? Or even Ahsoka Tano. Like, nobody knew anything about the new TV series Ahsoka unless you watched Rebels. And then you're like, oh, wait, that's Ahsoka. Who is Sabine? Like, who is Ezra? Who is Hera? And then you gotta go all the way back to watch the Clone Wars. It's like there's so much deep diving background details that you have to actually learn and discuss if you truly are wanting to follow the Star Wars storyline right now.
Yeah. And to that point, I feel like that's why the Ahsoka Disney Plus series didn't do phenomenal is because people haven't watched her in Clone Wars. People haven't seen Star Wars Rebels. So they're like, they see this new show and they're like, okay, that's kind of weird. I don't really know these people. I'm probably not going to watch it.
Right.
So yeah, I think that just ties into the whole, sure, these are cartoons, but they're for all ages.
Right.
And I mean, they truly are for adults.
Right. And it's like you're really truly starting to understand of how the Star Wars timeline is going because we both know the amount of projects that are running right now, including little television series shows that are on Disney Plus that talk about specific characters. I mean, Boba Fett, The Mandalorian. I mean, everybody loved The Mandalorian. I mean, it came out with a hit. Baby Yoda, aka Grogu. I mean, everybody loved it. But then you're sitting there wondering, like, the backstory of the Mandalorian, of him getting attacked by super battle droids, and everybody's wondering, like, who are these droids? Well, if you actually understood things, it's from the Clone Wars. And the more that you watch it, it's just interesting to see because like the amount of TV shows and like the movies that have like came out from the original movies, it ties in the storyline absolutely perfect. I mean, for example, we could sit here and talk about Rogue One all day. It's
Yeah.
one of the best. I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna say fan made, but I'm gonna say it's one of the best movies for Star Wars that have not been part of the original movies.
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's
that's definitely it's honestly, besides the Skywalker saga, it's easily the best
right,
Star Wars
easily.
film that
I
they've
mean,
done.
the amount of things that we were able to at least see in the movie, which you all need to go watch Rogue One. I mean, it's honestly one of the best movies that you could ever seen. I mean, we met Jen Erso. I mean, director Krennic. We could finally see the Death Star truly barely using his power with Tarkin. I
Yep.
mean, Cassian Andor. I mean, and don't even get me started with Vader.
Mm, mm. See,
Man,
that's so about Vader. So
ooh,
first off, that scene. Just him in the whole movie is just perfect.
perfect.
But just being able to, I think we need. That's one thing I've always wanted with
Mm-hmm.
Vader is just more of him in like his prime.
Right,
More of him in his prime. Just absolutely just destroying everybody. That's what we don't get to see enough of. But thanks
right,
to Rogue One, we at least got a taste of that, and it was just amazing to see on screen. It really was.
right, right. It was just the and then the greatest thing is that like Darth Vader is supposed to be one of the most menacing villains of all time. And I mean, let's be honest. In the original movies, we did get to see him fight against other heroes. But what happens if we see him fight against infantry? Nobody has ever talked about that of why he is so much of a menace to the how the rebellion portrayed him.
Yeah.
And just everything about Rogue One, the storyline about Jyn Erso, basically, and I'm not gonna spoil anything. Can't definitely do any type of spoils, but y'all just need to trust me and Harry here. Y'all need to watch Rogue One on Disney Plus. And I mean, speaking of that too, as well. I mean, isn't there supposed to be more? I believe there's a couple more shows coming out now for Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Yeah, we're definitely getting Andor season 2, which I'm
Oh,
excited for. I really am. Um
Andor is a phenomenal,
yeah.
phenomenal, phenomenal TV series,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it's now Harry. Let me ask you this: What is so? Since we both have seen Andor, and we definitely can see it's a different perspective of Star Wars. I mean, it's not really like fighting. It's not really like action packed. I mean, we it's strictly of like politics or not even like politics, but how like even civilians live within the empire and whispers of a rebellion. What's your thought process? What's your opinion behind that? I'm curious to
Yeah,
hear.
so personally, and I will say once again, this show is quote unquote tailored towards adults. This
Mm-hmm.
show really makes you think. Like it really makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a it's almost like a crime thriller type deal.
Mm-hmm.
Which I really do enjoy. I love the darker tone. Like it's serious. I like that. And it's a lot less fighting, but in this instance that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And splitting off for a second, Revenge of the Sith, fighting pretty pretty much the whole movie. There's some form of action.
immediately from
Yeah,
the opening credits.
yeah, which I love. That is definitely one of my favorite films. But this change of pace,
Hmm.
this darker tone, it's so much more serious. I love that, and I love just getting to dive into the Empire, into the rebellion, and just kind of
Hmm.
see what goes on between the lines, basically.
Hmm. Hmm. That's a very good point. And kind of to follow up with that too, you never really get to see of what all how that lines up. I mean, we all know Coruscant is one of the most famous, beautiful cities within Star Wars, and beautiful planets. I'm sorry, and you don't get to really see it from a civilian perspective, or even from officers or politics or anything. And I really love the way Andor is creating a rebellion because we both know this is the beginning of the rebellion. This is the beginning of the empire fully flourishing, and now they're starting to have talks of, well, just because we don't agree with some of the policies that the empire is doing or the emperor's doing, perhaps. And man, this just whole entire whoever came up with this concept with Andor, perfect. I tip my hat off to them because we us as Star Wars fans, we never would have seen this coming.
Mm-mm.
And
No.
it's something the Star Wars community needs. I mean, we see, like I said, we see a lot of fighting. We saw a lot of base characters, but now we're starting to really dig deep into the Whispers of the Rebellion. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and that's one thing. That's one thing. A lot of people looking outside in don't understand is
Hmm.
that they look at Star Wars and they're like, oh, it's all fighting, it's all action,
Right.
random stuff. But there actually is a story being told
Hmm.
on a very deep level that you actually have to pay attention to truly understand. And I think Andor has just done a great job of delivering that
I
for all of
agree.
us.
I agree too as well. And I'm hoping that, you know, they start to come out more with these type of like TV shows, I'm sorry, for Star Wars because maybe, for example, a lot of people don't know what happened between the Republic and CIS or the Confederacy. I mean, we all just think in the back end that, the Republic are the good guys and the Separatists are the bad guys. Well, what happens if like there's civilians that think the Separatists are the good guys and the Republic are the bad guys? Or they might just be neutral, or they just don't like either team fighting. So I like these. I like some of these TV series that are starting to really flourish and really starting to like come around, kind of discuss little things on the back end of Star Wars that nobody really wants to dig deep and figure out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I will say, people can say what they want about Disney Plus, but at the end of the day, we would not have most of these Star Wars series that we do have and that we do get to enjoy.
Right, right. So shout out to Disney Plus. Appreciate you all for all these wonderful Star Wars movies and TV series. Now, speaking of new TV series, I don't know if you've seen we might have to do a live version of watching the Acolyte trailer.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to run through that. It's solid. It's definitely solid.
It's amazing. Whew. So let's see. You know what? Let's see if we can get a little bit of a recording real quick and tune in to watching the Acolyte trailer. I'm gonna go ahead and get us set up, and let's go ahead and tune in with this. Right. So now let's see. So we both see each other. We're still here.
Yep. And we can. So I think yeah, this is good. I say we run through it once, full speed,
Hmm.
and then we run through it again, but like pause at certain moments that people might want us to just kind of dig into.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and hit play here. We got the Harry. Can you see good
Yep.
on your end? So it looks
Yep.
like you see me and you.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Let's go ahead and tune in and watch.
Close your eyes. Your eyes can deceive you. We must not trust them. Tell me what comes into your mind.
Life. Balance. I see fire.
Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense. What happened?
I sensed darkness. This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
What is that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man,
It's pretty sick.
wow. Just man. All right, Harry. I gotta hear some thoughts. I gotta. I'm gonna let you go first and tell me what you think. What's because that's an amazing trailer.
Yeah. Yeah. They definitely did a good job on it. And they showed enough to get everybody excited,
Mm-hmm.
but they definitely didn't show too much. And so yeah, ever since I saw Phantom Menace, I was like, what the heck happened before this time? And now we're sort of getting a little bit of a glimpse into that. I believe this. So does this take place like 100 years before Phantom Menace? I think.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes, I
Okay.
believe so.
Yeah. 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 So this is a time that, besides in lore, has not been explored. Like there is nothing on screen that we have seen dating back to this period. So to get this is definitely exciting right off the bat from that. But I also like that so far the tone seems darker, which is
Mm-hmm.
good. We need more of that. I, it's controversial. The sequel trilogy. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it, but I don't know. I couldn't. I don't know. There were times where I just couldn't really take it seriously,
Mm,
as much as I hate to say it. Um, but
I
with pretty
feel that.
much every other Star Wars project, there were times where I was like, okay, this is real. This is happening. I can take this seriously. Let's dive into this. Um, but anyway, back to this. I do enjoy the tone. One thing I hope they don't do is just make it kind of, I don't know, kind of joking at times. I think this is a time period that's extremely important, extremely serious. And I think that throughout this whole show, they need to stay on that path and don't divert into just randomness.
Right.
Then another thing that would be great is a little bit of fan service. I'm not saying like just throw it up in our faces, but at least hints and maybe just a little bit of something. Because obviously at this period of time, there was Darth Plagueis.
Yes. Oof.
And
Oof.
obviously he is extremely important and deserves screen time and deserves lots of it.
Yes.
And I think in order for this show to be, I think it's going to be good regardless, but in order for it to be like great, I think a true big bad like Plagueis needs to pull up at some point.
Yes. I wanna go ahead and piggyback on a little bit of what you said. So yes, I agree so much. I mean, there's an old video game that I played called Star Wars: The Old Republic, and me playing that video game, I mean, it inspired me to figure out what else was more there before the Phantom Menace. I mean, we just know the Jedi, and we just know the Republic. But what else is there? I mean, there's Darth Plagueis. And I can't remember his name right now, but he is currently a 25 anniversary Lego minifigure. And
We talking Darth Malak.
we're talking Darth Malak. There he is. He's also within the Star Wars of the Old Republic. But to piggyback off of this trailer, I mean, it's good to start to see truly what else has happened back then. I mean, it's from what I'm understanding too as well, because like I said, I love figuring out more information about what had happened before the Phantom Menace, but this talks about almost why Jedi are starting to be killed. I mean, this may be the first time we truly start to see the Sith like come out and try and stop the Jedi, thus creating the Jedi versus Sith rivalry for now. And I'm really hoping to see. I really do am hoping to see Darth Plagueis. I mean, we all know from Episode 3, Palpatine mentioned Darth Plagueis was the Wise. Well, why? I mean, there's so many questions that like I'm thoroughly looking forward to where this small trailer of the Acolyte is going to truly start to answer us some questions. And I mean, I'm already having some questions too of certain people to where a lot of people do not know who is in here. I want to know, why was Jedi starting to be targeted? I mean, why are Jedi starting to be killed? Who came out with the first Sith kyber crystal? I mean, there's so many questions that we might have to. I think we might have to break this down a little bit more and maybe see if we can find some Easter eggs or little things within the trailer
Yeah,
that we can find. You know what I mean?
definitely.
Okay, bet. Let me, you know what? Let me go ahead and push play. See if we can find some things. You just let me know when you see something.
Close your eyes. Your eyes can deceive you. We must not trust them.
Now, I'm gonna go ahead and pause real quick. They're teaching these little younglings about not trust them. My first question already is, I wonder who's he talking about that he already knows, but we don't. Like, what do you mean, like, we don't trust them right now? Are you talking about, like, the evils within the Force? Are you talking about your emotions? Like, I got questions.
He's definitely he's seen somebody. He's seen somebody. And he doesn't want to believe he saw them.
Ooh.
So now he's telling everybody else. your eyes deceive you. But
Ooh.
yeah, I think this teaching that right there, I think that is post him having seen a Sith or whatever. And he just didn't want to believe it because there was that period of time where like they never crossed paths. So like him seeing one is like this huge wake up call, like, oh hey, they're still out there.
Right, right.
This is crazy.
I'm thinking too, this might be a controversial hot topic or hot take, but what if we see the rise of Palpatine and we see maybe a young Palpatine rising to the dark side?
Yeah, I would personally love that. I
Me
really
too.
would.
I would personally love that. So let's see what. Now, before I start this trailer again, what map would you maybe take a guess on, or planet would you take a guess on this scene is right here?
Mm.
I'm gonna take a guess, and this is gonna be a very, very, very estimating guess. I'm gonna say it's Jakku or Jeddah. Jakku or Jeddah. I know it's two J names, but
Mm-hmm.
both of them have that sandy type of rock atmosphere to them. And I'm sitting here thinking, I think it might be one of those two. But I'm not gonna say it's a hardcore yes right now. But what you think?
Yeah. So I'm seeing this part and I'm like, it's reminding me of. I just hopped right to episode 7, The Force Awakens,
Mm-hmm.
when they go see Maz Kanata
Ooh.
and all them. This landscape just kind of reminds me of that area, at least.
Okay.
And I know Maz Kanata's super old. I don't know if she's this old,
Mm-hmm.
but I know she was like super old. So I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, this is that planet. Maybe.
And I can't remember what planet it was she was on. Was it?
I'm trying to remember.
I want to say it started with the T.
It might have. I'm gonna look it up real quick. But yeah,
Yeah.
anyway, I think it kind of reminds me of that.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. Right now we got Jakku, Jeddah, and Harry looking up right now what the other planet was where Maz Kanata was, which is
Oh,
she was from episode 7.
yeah, Takodana.
Takodana.
Okay. Yep.
Ooh. Interesting. I like that guess. I like that guess.
Ah, okay.
Hmm.
So when I pulled up Takodana, so it says it's a site rumored to have been a battleground for Jedi and Sith.
Oh.
So okay, that
Okay.
that
Yeah.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yep. You know what? I think you
Okay.
might just hit the nail on the coffin right
That
then
makes
and there.
sense. I like that. I really
Wow.
do.
I did
Okay.
not even know that about
Neither did I.
Takodana.
Until just now.
So okay, you know what? I think Harry might have hit the nail on the coffin right there. So let's see if we can go ahead and finish out more of this wonderful trailer and figure out what other Easter eggs we can find in this.
Tell me what comes into your mind.
Life.
Hmm.
Balance. I see fire.
Okay, I gotta do a quick pause. I gotta. So the little girl. So there's 3 younglings. I said, life, balance, and the other girl says she sees fire. I really wonder if maybe that is how the start of how the Sith is truly awakening. They start to see more so of the negative aspect of the Force, because the first two younglings sound like they have Jedi teachings to a T. I mean, balance and life. But fire? I don't know yet. I do not know yet.
Yeah, that. So, so there's a chance that obviously the Force is a super complicated thing, but
Right.
like maybe just maybe either this youngling is turning down a path to the dark side, or a dark side user is tapping into her consciousness,
Ooh.
giving her these thoughts
Ooh.
and stuff.
Mm.
Maybe. I don't know. Obviously Force is a complicated thing, but
Right.
there's a chance something along those lines is happening.
Maybe this could be the first time we start to see any Jedi get influenced by the dark side.
Yeah.
And nobody do not knows how to handle it. And maybe that could be how the Acolyte whole TV series is about. I don't know. I don't know. We'll go ahead and see if we can finish this. Wow.
Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense. What happened?
I sensed darkness.
Now I know we're gonna keep pausing this video and kind of break it down a little bit. Just, maybe this be the first time they sense darkness. What's your
Yeah.
thought process, Harry?
Yeah.
What's your
So
speculations?
yeah, so obviously I'm black. But ever since I was a little kid, I've just been obsessed with martial arts and stuff like that. And I
Mm-hmm.
love that they're doing this in the trailer. I love that there is fighting without lightsabers. It's strictly hand-to-hand combat and the Force, which I do really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And so this chick here, the younger one, I don't know much about her at all. But clearly I think she could be at least helping go
Mm-hmm.
around killing Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's very stealthy, which I also like. Just operates in the shadows, which is what the Sith do. So
Right.
she's a good example of a Sith, but like it's very subtle,
Right.
which is different, but cool. I do
Right.
thoroughly like that.
And kind of piggyback on you, because I know you're saying you like martial arts. I personally always will love karate, like martial arts, kung fu, like tai chi, all of that. Even I can't remember what the type of martial arts was, but I know you've probably heard of. I personally say one of the greatest kung fu fighting people of all time, Ip Man, and
Oh, I love those movies. I love them.
man, the way he is just so smooth with how he beats up everybody, and just it's just perfect. I know we can get on another topic with that, but we're gonna go back to this chick right here. But this chick right here, so I see her using a knife and stuff. Do you think maybe that she is already either a Sith or an assassin or a bounty hunter? And if so, if she's a Sith, they're not using any kyber crystals right now to hide away the Sith teachings or to even show Jedi that they're awakening, or they're just killing them because they don't agree with their teachings.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of it's kind of complicated. It's kind of up in the air with her. But So like I want to say Sith,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I just want to say like she's just kind of she's just kind of lost on her own. Maybe she's doing deeds for a Sith Lord,
Mm.
possibly. Because I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to say she just. I don't know. She just doesn't seem like full on Sith. She just seems kind of on her own, just kind of lost, just kind of out there.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Almost bounty hunter esque, but like not necessarily.
Okay.
More so along the assassin lines, I guess.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's not. It's not. She's not screaming Sith to me yet, at least.
Interesting. I like that. I like that. I like that. Let's see what we can else figure out on the rest of this trailer then.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
What is that?
Man, I'm thoroughly excited for this TV series. I really feel like too that Darth Raven could be a part of this. But I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I mean, there's a lot to take in. There's a lot that speculations. I mean, there's going to be a lot that we're going to have to read, like discuss and stuff. Like
Yeah.
there's so many great things.
Yeah.
And
So, so that one scene where the assassin chick is she's looking out into the distance and there's that figure standing with her
Yes.
with their back to her.
yes,
That I feel like that's definitely a Sith Lord. I
I
don't
think
know
so
who.
too.
I don't know who, but it has to be one. Like it can't
it
just
has to
be
be.
some random dude.
It
It's
has to be.
somebody extremely important.
Right. There's definitely has to be that has to be a Sith Lord. Like I truly believe that there's a lot of speculation with things. I mean, there's got to be a lot, and I think this two-part episode is going to be great because we get to finally do a deep dive and going to keep the audience going to where I truly hope this new TV series is going to be like with a great character development and story plot line with Bad Batch. And the more that we watch Bad Batch, because I think we have what, 2 or 3 episodes left?
Something like that, yeah.
And we have 2 or 3 episodes left of Bad Batch. And I think these next couple months with Star Wars are gonna be very, very, very ideal. Not only with the TV episodes, but them announcing more TV episodes. And I mean, we got Legos coming out too, video games. Wait till we talk to y'all about Lego investing.
Yeah. Mm,
Y'all gonna be
mm.
appalled at how much Legos are now. I mean, y'all gonna be thoroughly impressed to where you don't even have to build the Lego. Just go
Right.
buy the Lego, maybe get 2 of them. Build one, keep the other one safe. Promise you that value will skyrocket.
Yep.
But we might have to save that for another episode.
For sure. Yeah, and so one more thing I do want to touch on.
Let's touch on it. Pause.
So it's kind of about Omega.
Okay. Okay.
So obviously she's now locked up with those three other kids. And Hemlock's taking her to, well, he's already got her in there, but we're gonna find out what exactly. I mean, we kind of know what they're needed for, but we're gonna find out what exactly, or at least they're gonna find out what exactly they're there for.
Right.
And that's just gonna be a major revelation for them. But at the same time, I really hope that her story continues on past the Bad Batch. It almost has to, because I don't feel we really haven't. We've, I mean, we've gotten a lot of character development with her, but at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, they could do so much more with the character. And honestly, if it were to, if the show were to end with her going out, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that.
I wouldn't either. I mean, we both know that Omega is right now a very pivotal character within Bad Batch. I feel like, which we both can probably see that Clone Force 99, the characters are going to die. I feel like Hunter is going to die a very heroic death. I really feel like Rex is going to come in and save Omega. I really hope so. But if they really let Omega go at the end, that's going to be a very, very, very depressing. But I really would hope to see Hemlock leave. I'm not a fan of Hemlock at all.
No,
But I think in the very end, I really, really feel like that. I'm going to have a speculation. I'm going to speculate that there's two people that are going to assist in Omega's escape, but I feel like one of them will die. The first person, I think Emery's going to come in and save some people.
yep, I agree.
We're going to start to, Omega's going to really get to her, and she's going to be like, kind of come to her senses to realizing what she's doing is wrong. And then the next person I speculate, which we saw him one time this season, is one of the greatest clone commanders from the Clone Wars, Commander Wolf, and the Wolf Pack.
Mm.
We were able to see him. We were able to see Rex and Gregor. Which Gregor, if the audience does not know, he's a clone commando that was from technically the 212th Legion, and he's from Clone Wars 2. And he's been kind of situated a little bit in Bad Batch here and there. But in the very end, we will see Wolf, Captain Rex, and Commander Gregor, or Captain Gregor, and Rebels stay alive. So I'm really hoping that we'll see Wolf come to his senses, help out his clone brothers, and being able to help save Omega, Hunter, the Bad Batch, whatever happens. I really hope that we're going to get a really, really good ending out of this.
Yeah, I agree. And so obviously, she's been locked up for a couple episodes now, but we still have Nala Se.
Ooh,
We
yes.
still have Nala Se. So obviously, she is so very important
Mm-hmm.
because obviously she has to do with the production of all the clones in the first place.
Very, very.
So I kind of feel like, as much as I hate to say it, I kind of feel like she meets her demise in this show. I don't know how. Obviously, as you know, as all shows would do,
Mm-hmm.
good characters are going to help everybody escape. Blah blah blah, whatever. But if she were to survive somehow, some way,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be her, Omega, and probably the three other little kids. I don't think they'll kill the little kids off. I think the kids will get out. But I could possibly see her, Omega, and those three kids getting out, but then everybody else having to sacrifice themselves to help them.
I think so too. I think so too, especially since these kids have the midichlorian counts, or the M counts, as they say in the show. I really feel like that they're going to be very, very useful in aiding the escape for not only Omega, but getting off of Tantus base. And I think Nala Se is going to be able to help them and Emery. I really feel like Emery is going to come through and save, or kind of, I wouldn't say save, but have a change of heart and realize what she's doing for the Empire is wrong, and maybe help release the kids to be safe.
Yeah, another thing about these kids is if they do get out, then there's a decent chance that obviously they won't be kids anymore. They could have been around Luke's, sort of his whatever, his Jedi Templar, whatever he did post Return of the Jedi, possibly. Right. Obviously, that at that time they would be adults, but they at least could have been there, maybe.
Right. So, sounds like we got some questions that need to be answered here, yo. I mean, got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited for next week's episode. I think it's gonna be great. I really do.
I'm thoroughly excited for this next week's episode too. It's gonna be, it's gonna really, really wanting for us to have more of the Bad Batch.
Yeah. As much as, I mean, yeah, I would love a movie with them. I don't know. I would love something else. I just, I feel like this might be it for them. As much as I want more after this, I feel like this might be their send off.
At least the good news is, if they do go out, it would be made by the GOAT producer Dave Filoni.
This is true.
Shouts out to the GOAT, Dave.
Clone Wars Season 7. Need I say more?
No. Oh, man, if they even finished some of the unfinished episodes of the Clone Wars Season 7, it would be great. It would be absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
But I'm happy where we're at right now, too.
Yeah. It's the future. The future is definitely bright for Star Wars content.
Oh, yes.
And
maybe, I think next week, then, or when next time we film, it might be NBA playoffs time.
And that, yeah.
We got the play-in coming up. This is gonna be interesting playoffs too. I'm gonna say we got a lot of other topics that we got to discuss, because I touch base on Legos, and I know Harry got his Lego room in the background. I'm finishing mine up too, but I promise you all, I have some Legos, and I'm a Lego addict too.
Yeah, I just need to get my stand for my Falcon. My Falcon's back. It's like there.
Oh yeah.
But I need to get the stand for it so that you can actually see it. It's not just that little gray sliver of plastic. But
it's crazy nice too, I'm telling y'all.
15 hours later, it's clutch.
Hey, don't worry. One day I will be there, or I think this year I'm gonna get that AT-AT. Which, if anybody doesn't know what the Lego AT-AT is, it's 6,000 pieces.
It's next on my list. I gotta get it before it retires.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's trying to tell you all. Once it retires, the value is going all the way up. All the way up.
Yeah.
If it puts into perspective, tell you all, we have a favorite Lego set that came out. I think it was in 1999. The classic Betrayal
Something
at
like
Cloud
that.
City. But if it tells you on any perspective, I think it retailed back then at, I think it was only $200 maybe, and they have a classic Boba Fett minifigure, and that came out in 1999. If you go on eBay or look up at any type of Lego reselling places, that Boba Fett minifigure alone is worth more than $3,000.
Yeah.
Crazy. Just a minifigure. Trying to tell you all, we're going to get you all in game. I promise you.
I mean, like, I mean, literally there could be any single set that someone owns that they bought a couple years ago that in 15 years, 20 years, whatever, could be worth thousands. You don't know.
Yes. Oh, yes.
But it's probably going to be Star Wars. There needs to be a heavy focus on Star Wars when it comes to Lego collecting and investing. But we'll get into all that in another episode.
Yes. We'll definitely get into that next time. And you're all always more than welcome to ask us for advice. You know, we're the Lego experts over here.
Yep.
With that being said, Harry, I think it's time we go ahead and wrap up this episode.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely, we definitely covered pretty much everything we wanted to cover. Obviously, next week there's going to be a lot more, and hopefully soon we'll get another Acolyte trailer. We'll see, just so we have more to break down. But yeah, I think so. It's a good time to be a Star Wars fan. That's for sure.
Very good time. And then next week or next time, we will break down Tales of the Empire, a new TV series that definitely did just come out. We kind of just wanted to focus on. We didn't want to jump too much around. We just wanted to focus on, a couple things that just came out recently. But we've got a lot of stuff to discuss. Star Wars content wise, really starting to learn how to become a Star Wars fan. We will be able to teach you everything what is going to be going on with Star Wars.
Yep.
So with that being said,
also, I will say one quick thing.
My bad.
So my sister-in-law's boyfriend, I'm trying to convert him. He's not a big Star Wars fan, but he just needs the right people in his life to help him. I was talking to him a couple weeks ago about Star Wars, and he's got a lot to say. He's got a lot of arguments. I didn't want to get too deep into it, but he needs a little help.
You know what? That's okay, because I have a couple of friends of mine that I'm trying to get them to watch Star Wars and truly understand it. I'm finally getting my dad really heavily into Star Wars, how I am to him, watching some of the TV series, truly understanding it, understanding where the storyline is, how it adds up. But we're gonna get your sister-in-law's boyfriend on game, because I'm trying to tell you all, Star Wars is the way to go. It sounds nerdy. It's 100% sci-fi, but when you truly start to understand storyline with things, you're gonna be inspired. I promise you.
Yep. Oh, I gotta show everybody what I got real quick.
Oh yes. Oh, we're doing a live sneak preview of what we got from Harry's trip. As you can see in the background, that Falcon.
Yeah. So we were in my wife and I were in Disney World last week. Yeah. Last week. I finally bit the bullet. It got something I've been wanting.
Oh no.
So it's not a phase 1. It is a phase 2. But we got this.
Wow. He got the phase 2 clone helmet. If that's not beautiful, I don't know what beautiful is.
So this thing is huge. But it's also super realistic, and it does have a voice modification feature too.
Oh my goodness.
Which is great. I need to put batteries in it so I can actually use it, but yeah, this was definitely on my list of things to get, and I finally got it.
So I wonder if the voice certification, I wonder whose Clone Trooper voice are we going to hear? I mean, is it going to be the GOAT, Tamora Morrison from the original movies, or are we going to hear D. Bradley Baker from the Clone Wars?
Man.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear about this.
It's got to be Morrison. It's got to be.
Always got to be Morrison, because he started out. Like, he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Man. Well, I don't have any special sneak previews like Hario does because, Hario's like that. And I'll definitely have my Lego room up, hopefully. It's a work in progress, but promise you guys, I got some Legos. But with that being said, Hario, I think it's time we go ahead and wrap up this episode.
Yeah, man, I think so. Once again, we covered a lot of stuff. We covered a lot of good stuff. And there's tons more to dive into, but this was definitely a solid episode. Nice little introduction into the whole Star Wars pop culture scene that we obsess over. So,
especially within the Star Wars universe of truly expanding from just the movies.
yeah.
So with that being said, Harry already knows what the jingle is. Like,
Yep.
comment, subscribe, share with your friends.
Yep.
Talk
Do
to
all that.
all your Star Wars fans. We'll be able to answer anything we got. And that being said, I'm Colton, co-host Hario. That being said, goodbye, y'all. Hope y'all have a good one.
See y'all in the next one.